Welcome to episode 6 of the NoCodeNinja series. In this episode, we'll be doing things a little bit differently from our previous episodes. The goal with this video was to really bring together all of the knowledge, all of the lessons that we learned in the previous videos, in those previous walkthroughs, and really showcase the power of no-code tools. So how I will present this video is I'll go through a demo of what I've built, and then I'll talk about how I built it. So the goal here is to really kind of help you guys around, you're planning your own projects, giving you guys more ideas for how you can execute some of your own cool ideas. So let's get cracking. So here's my app. It's called Ideaforge, and really the idea behind this app is to kind of help you further develop your ideas, right? Further help you do a bit of market research, further help you understand the trends related to your idea. Now, typically the way that people normally do their ideation process is they come up with an idea, they might do a bunch of research, they might do validation, that kind of thing. The idea behind Ideaforge is basically this is a tool that can help you do that market research, that can help you gather that information, that can kind of be a bit of a companion on your journey to developing an idea, right? So it's really simple. How it works is there's this front end, and you can see I put a bit of a description about what Ideaforge is. And then we start off with an idea name. So we just name our idea and we describe our idea in a single sentence. And then what I've put on this form is a payment widget where I can collect money to generate a report that will be generated. So let's go through a live demo of this working. All right, so let's submit an idea. So I actually have an idea in mind. All my ideas are from pain points that I'm suffering from. So I'm just going to enter my idea. So I'm going to call this AI Grassbot. And I think you might know what this idea is. So I live in Australia, and this summer we had a crazy summer. Grass has been growing pretty wild. Where I live, it's an acreage as well, so grass is like not your average residential property. I'd love for some form of AI grass bot to just cut all my grass. I live on hilly terrain. It would be great if it could go up 45-degree hills as well. But I'm just going to summarize that in a single sentence. So what is it that my idea is about? It's an AI powered grass cutting bot that can easily automate cutting grass for my property. I'm actually really interested what this is going to return back because I can't be stuffed doing all the research for this. So as part of this demo, I'm going to actually perform a payment as well. So I'm just going to enter my card details. Enter my name. I'm going to enter my email as well. Okay, so I've entered in my idea name, a bit of a description of my idea. I'm about to pay. It's going to send me a report to my email address, so I'm just going to submit that. Great. So it looks like payments have been received and the form has been completed. So stuff's happening in the background, some magic with make.com. I will go through what's happening in the background, but let's see what the output looks like. So it does take 1 to 2 minutes for the report to generate. So let's wait and we'll have a look at what the report generated. All right, so I'm just opening up my email. Looks like I got that report. So I'm just going to open this up and let's have a read, okay? So we've got the AI Grassbot. Talks a little bit about, the business problem, it is quite challenging to maintain long grass. It is very labor intensive, I can tell you that. The AI-powered grass cutting bot automates the task of lawn maintenance, providing reliable, quiet, and eco-friendly solution. Great. Target customer segment. We've got some more information about that. And we've got a bit of features. So it's recommending a couple of features for our idea. So we've got it's got a growth pattern recognition. Bot uses ML algorithms to recognize growth patterns of grass and adjusts its cutting schedule and height accordingly. Ensures optimal lawn health. Great. Advanced navigation system. Love it, love it. Automated scheduling and weather adaptation. Awesome. We've got a bit of information on a revenue model. Okay, and this is what I really wanted to look into, which is, competitor research. Like who are my competitors, or, where could I learn additional information about this space? So we've got robot lawnmowers. There are several companies producing robot lawnmowers which use sensors, including Husqvarna, Works, Landroid, Robomo. These may not be fully AI powered, but still require some level of user input and maintenance. Okay, so autonomous lawn care services. Companies like Lawn Guru and GreenPal offer on-demand lawn care services using automation. Okay, electric lawnmowers, autonomous garden robots. So this is interesting because, when you've got an idea, often someone's already come up with an idea. So it's great that this can just, do a bit of research and find, is there anyone who's in that space you can maybe learn from what they've done. There's also what the report produces, a bit of market trend research. And this scans the internet and provides this great trend research. So that's the report. That's the output of what we get when we use Ideaforge. So let's look into how this thing actually works. So let's look at how Ideaforge works. So basically, when I was thinking about this, I just mapped out the high-level steps that I thought that the automation should be able to handle. So I thought about, this idea of submitting a rough idea and then getting assistants to help me further progress that idea and performing more research on that idea, maybe looking at competitors, looking at trends, that kind of thing. And then the output was this final report. So that's the high level flow of Ideaforge. And then in terms of the no-code architecture, like how does this thing actually work? So basically on the front end, I use tally forms. So you would have seen that, I entered some information in those forms, and it's tightly coupled with Stripe. So I was able to collect a payment on that form submission. And then what happened was when that submission went through, Make picked it up and it began to talk to ChatGPT, it began to talk to Perplexity and gather some more information about the idea. While that was happening, all our information was being saved in Baserow, which is our no-code DB tool. And then to actually output the document, we used Google Docs, and then we just used our Gmail account to send that document. So that's just a high-level snapshot of how this thing kind of works. I'll now jump into the individual tools so you can actually see, what did we do to actually make this thing a reality. Okay, so let's look at that front-end tool called Tally. So this is what it looks like. You can see that, I've got that AI grass bot submission that's come through. This is a summary of all of the, forms that get submitted. And you can see that basically we can go through and, it's got some high-level information, but most of the information I've been saving in my database Baserow, which I'll get to. So, you can see we can share the form and we can use our custom domain if we wanted to. And in terms of integrating this, we can set up integrations for this to all work. Very nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's quite simple. If we go here we can edit the front end form. It's basically like Notion. Tally is a really nice, clean UI, which is why I picked it. And yeah, you can do a lot with Tally. So if you guys are thinking about, some form of interaction where you need to collect information from a user, then Tally is an option for you guys to use. I would highly recommend it. So let's move on to make, right? So here is how that make workflow looks like. So we've got that, we've got Tally, which is looking for new responses, and I just set that up. And then basically what happens is when I get a new response, I create a new row in my base row. So you can see if I go to my base row, this is what just is a summary of my database. So you can see, the idea name, then, further information, about the business problem, ideal customer segment, features, that kind of thing. It's basically being updated in base row, but make is helping with collecting a lot of the information. So let's just walk through this and I can show you how it works. So basically, we create an initial row in base row. We're looking to populate, that single sentence idea, looking to get that idea name from the front end form, and we're looking to get the email address from that front end form so we can then email the report at the end. And we just got a little status update around paid. So what we do is we're looking to chat to ChatGPT and just some basic prompts that we've been asking. So we just prompt it and we say, you're a startup coach and an advisor with experience of 20 years, right? This is just pre-context for the prompt. And then for the actual prompt, right, we're basically sending this prompt, and we want ChatGPT to respond in a JSON format with its response. That way it's easy to manage, how we get that information and then neatly save it in our database later. So you can see a bit of information around, how I've structured this JSON response. You can easily do this yourself within ChatGPT. You can give it your database structure and say, please format it in this JSON response. And just make sure that when you're doing this kind of stuff, you don't have any, line breaks, that kind of thing. It's all in a single string. And then once I had prompted for this specific prompt, which was helping me come up with additional, problems, additional high-level features, potential ideas on revenue models. This was the initial thing that ChatGPT was helping us with, which was expanding on our idea, giving us a bit more kind of information about what our idea could be, right? In this message 3, I just actually use the idea submitted below. So it has a bit of context around what it's trying to do, and then it has the information about what that idea is. So that's ChatGPT, and if we just hit OK, we can move on to this pass JSON. So basically what we're doing is with the response that we get from ChatGPT, we're just passing that response so then we can further use that information. And then I have a bunch of iterators. I'm looking to basically just make sure that the features that I was getting back are usable and the information can be used in our database, in our report, anywhere. Sometimes when you're getting these types of JSON responses back, things can kind of break. Things have to be in a specific order. Often, you might need to, go through different arrays and collect information and set variables. So this was just some of that setup that I did. And then eventually you can see in this update row, what I was doing was all that information I got from ChatGPT, I was just saving it in my base row database. So you can see that, initially I created created this row and I'm getting this row ID. So I'm making sure that I'm updating that, initial row that was created. And then I'm updating, all of this information, business problem, the segment, the revenue model, a little bit of information about the features, that kind of thing, right? So then moving on, what I did was I was using Perplexity AI to help me with the competitor research. I really like Perplexity because sometimes I just find that it sometimes just really nails what it is that you're trying to ask for. And I just find so many great moments using Perplexities, which is why I decided to just, try and use their API. So basically, I just read the documentation on their website, and in Make there is no Perplexity module or that kind of thing, but you can still integrate with it. In my earlier video, I talked about, how do you go about, integrating with, tools that potentially don't have their own unique Make module, what do you do in those scenarios? And it's just a matter of reading the documentation and, setting it up. So you can see this was the actual prompt that I sent Perplexity. So I said, you are an expert at external market research. Use the idea summary below, and I gave it some information from my base row. And please expand on the idea by identifying potential competitors with similar ideas. And then I passed the response. So that was one. And then I did it again just for the market trends. Very similar prompt. You can kind of see that there. And all of this information is being saved up in our base row. So, you can see the competitor information and the market research information is there. And then we are generating a Google document template. So basically, you can see that at the end of the day, we end up having a complete record of all of the information regarding the idea. And we have to generate this report somehow. So the way how I did this was I came up with a template. So if I just find the template, I can show you guys what that looks like. So this was the template initially, right? So very simple, right? We've got the idea name, business problem, target segment, features, revenue model, and that competitor research and market trend research. So this is what the template looked like. And you can see these curly brackets. So that's where a lot of the information is being populated from our base row. And you can then see that final input, the final output looks like this, right? So that's what we're getting at the end. And that last step, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a PDF, right? So I did look at other kind of PDF creation tools and that kind of thing, but I found that this is a hacky way to do it, and it's maybe a cheaper way to do things. So what I did was initially I created that document, and that was the template. I populated all of those curly brackets. They populate up here, and then what's the next, right? So once that document is created, we need to download that file. So we just take the document ID, which is from that Google Doc that gets created, and then we send off that email. So basically, we are looking to send an email with the subject, the idea name, with the email that we collected at the beginning of the flow, and we just want to attach that PDF. So one step, you're probably thinking, how did you get PDF? So basically, it's at this stage, when you download the file, you can download and convert documents into PDF, which is what I did. And then I just attached that PDF to the email. And that's pretty much it. So that's episode 6. We didn't really go into an exact step-by-step, how do we go about building that. But I guess if a lot of people like this video and they want that, then I'm happy to kind of make a video on that specifically. But I've built this project and it's live, and you guys can start generating ideas. I recommend you try it out and have a play, come up with more ideas, forge your ideas, And that's all I have today for NoCodeNinja.